Welcome to Justice Losers, the podcast where we discuss entertainment media, namely movies, TVs, and comics. I'm your host, Preston, joined as always by my delightful co-host,
Matt. That went about as well as we could have expected.
What should people do?
Like, subscribe, and it's the holiday season. I don't like the negativity. No more fights in the comments, at least not for now. Tell your friends. Bring joy to people and tell them about anything other than our podcast. Bring misery to people and tell them about our podcast.
There we go. There we go. And we're joined for the first time ever, my lovely girlfriend, Kayelin.
Hello.
Yay! Kaylin's here because we are talking about specifically Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yep.
And that is she loves Hallmark Christmas movies.
Neither of these people respect me right now, and I'm aware of that.
Matt,
we'll get into it.
You appreciate it. You can appreciate a good classic like rom-com Hallmark movie, right?
They're not rom-coms, though.
So, Kayelin, Hallmark Christmas movies, huh?
Yeah.
So what's the deal with those?
Well, you just mentioned warm and comforting. I would like to really focus on those feelings.
That was a great segue right there. She's
you.
a natural. I like it.
What is Hallmark?
It's a greeting card company.
Yeah. They have a channel.
For some reason.
I do know. I did a little bit of research. I do know that actually comes through, which we can point out, that history of them coming from two kind of Christian life and love channels, kind of come through some of the motifs of Hallmark movies.
Mm-hmm. So the Hallmark Channel, they do all kinds of. They do movies all year round, and they'll do all kinds of seasonal movies. Mm-hmm. They get really, really into Christmas.
Yes, they do.
They put out a movie called The Christmas Card in 2006. That was kind of the one that started it all. That was, people just ate it up. And so they have started pumping out just increasingly over the years. First one, then a few, then a dozen. Now they're aiming for 40 new Christmas movies a year.
A year?
40.
That is just...
It's aggressive.
That's a word for it. I was going to try to watch at least one going into this. Mm-hmm. It's not that I never got to it. It's that I didn't want to.
Warm and comforting. You were going to expand on that a little
Warm
bit.
and comforting. I feel like those are the words that I personally use to describe the entirety of the Christmas season. I love Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing I work in an elementary school because, I am on the same level as these children. I do love Christmas, and I just think it's such a happy time of the year. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Hallmark movies really fit into that because you always know there's going to be a happy ending. Mm-hmm. There's always pretty sets in the background, always beautiful decorations.
Yeah.
And they're comforting to watch. They bring me peace.
Well, we had an episode a few weeks ago where we talked about why there aren't any Thanksgiving movies.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is that Thanksgiving doesn't have a subculture like Christmas and doesn't have sort of the same emotional feeling as Christmas, that warm and comforting, the contrast between isolation and community and family. Mm-hmm. And Hallmark Christmas movies kind of really capitalize that. The formula often, I imagine you have more experience with this, but from the two I saw, you take someone and you isolate them for some reason, mm-hmm. and then the spirit of Christmas and rekindling lost love or whatever, and then they come back together and they're happy. And it always capitalizes very specifically on those Christmas emotions. Mm-hmm. So how would you lay out the formula for a Hallmark Christmas movie?
They do go about it a few different ways because I will say most are definitely about love interest, but sometimes they go for more family reconnections and stuff like that. Sometimes they go for both. There's the love interest and the family angle. Mm-hmm. Right. I will say, obviously, the one thing you're always guaranteed is the happy ending. There's never going to be a huge plot twist in a Hallmark movie. Yeah. You're always going to have your happy ending. I think that's part of, the comfort of it is you're going to watch it and you know your heart is not going to be broken by it at the end of the movie.
We've talked about the associated emotion is just, is joy. And if you're trying to capitalize on that emotion in a season, you're not going to leave oh yeah, they you're not going to put a love triangle where someone ends up getting the short end.
They do throw in those love triangles, but a lot of times the like third person that doesn't end up getting the guy or the girl or whatever, they're like super chill about it. They're just like, oh yeah, this is totally fine. Like, I've been pining after you for 10 years now, but I'm completely okay with this.
So I watched 2 Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay.
I watched Trading Christmas. You seen that one?
So the cool thing about
at this point?
Hallmark movies is I could not tell you a single title of a single movie I've watched.
I guess that brings us to another element of the Hallmark formula. Straight white people.
Yeah.
They did, it was, can't remember if it was this year or not, but very recently they aired a movie with an interracial couple, and that was like a big deal that they even did that. Yeah. Real progressive.
Yeah.
Historically, the model has been upper class white straight people. It's just I think it's the lingering sort of conservative sensibilities and Christian channel. Just they're going to play things as inoffensively for their sort of existing market as they can. Oh, I was talking about the 2 I watched. So Trading Christmas, it's the one where there's a writer in Boston and his brother, and there's a woman in small town Washington, and they do a house swap for Christmas.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, interesting. All right. The other one I saw was A Nutcracker Christmas. So that one is about a woman who was a ballet dancer in her youth, and her niece is an up-and-coming ballet dancer, and they go to Philadelphia, and her niece has got to go through the trials and travails of dancing the role of Clara in the Nutcracker, and maybe there's an old love interest that's going to be there, and some flame's going to be rekindled. That's
Question mark?
That's definitely what's going to happen.
That is absolutely what happens.
We know that.
Is there ever like relationships that you feel are natural, that they work together? Or is it all just like stuff? It's like, yes, person A and person B are to be together at the end.
I really liked Trading Christmas.
Oh.
I genuinely enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's a good movie. And I think what makes the relationships click, what you were thinking about, like, why do these feel authentic, is the character interactions are done, I think, with a sense of momentum. They start from these people don't know each other. How are the personalities going to interact? It's not artificial. It's not starting from, hey, these two are going to get together. I mean, you know they're going to because predictable plot. But it's starting from, hey, these two people wouldn't make any sense together at this point. And then it kind of grows to that point. And I think it succeeds in the relationship aspect because it does that.
Okay.
Nutcracker Christmas, on the other hand, does the eye contact thing, and then they fall in love. And there's so much exposition in that movie. It's not good. It does the relationship wrong because it's literally like an eye contact, and then, all of a sudden they're dating, because like the first 30 minutes of the movie is a flashback setting up why main female character is lonely. There's no building to the point. It's just kind of like, yep, this is it. They're in a relationship. Okay, they're not in a relationship anymore. Okay, let's rekindle the lost love.
Gotcha.
No arc. No momentum.
I want to follow this up
Okay.
with a question to the person who's seen a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay.
And you like them. Does that matter to you when you're watching a Hallmark Christmas? Like, do you watch it for the relationship part of it and feeling like the relationship together, or do you watch it for the Christmas aspect of it?
That is an interesting question. I actually think that my perspective on that has changed since being in a relationship. I think I used to watch it for the relationship aspect, to kind of like fantasize about like, you know, what could happen. Yeah. This year, I've noticed whenever I watch them, I'm not watching them as much for the romantic part of it. I'm watching it more for like the Christmas of it. Mm-hmm. And I've also noticed this year, I don't like to watch them by myself as much, because I used to watch them by myself all the time. Mm-hmm. This year, I really only watch them when I'm around friends, and then like me and friends can talk about it.
That brings up an interesting topic about like what Hallmark movies seek to fulfill in terms of like unreachable, extreme version of whatever that is. So relationships, you get a guy walking into a house with a girl getting out of the shower and they lock eyes and they're going to get married eventually. Yep. And that shit doesn't happen. Anyway. And then the Christmas decorations are every post on the staircase is decorated all the way down. Mm-hmm. The Christmas tree is just, you don't see green past all of the lights and ornaments. Mm-hmm. All of the, like, the giant wreaths, like, just the immense amount of decorations that no sane and fiscally responsible person would do. I've seen stills of some of the stuff, and it's just too much.
It's beautiful.
And I think that's the point. Is it's this?
I love it.
Like this unachievable bliss where you just don't have problems.
Yeah.
There's problems. There's problems.
There is tension.
If you're trying to appeal to a like middle class of people, those are like middle class of people kind of problems.
Mm-hmm. Broadly speaking, it's the sort of problems that are going to cause a character to feel isolated, so they can draw the contrast with the joyful
we talked
Christmas
about that
coming together. Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoy like the romantic plot lines because I am who I am as a person, but it's not like a longing for it anymore, I guess.
Can you tell, like, do you notice afterwards if you feel like a relationship was done well or done badly in the movie? Are there ones where you're just kind of left cold to it afterwards?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, not feeling that wasn't my favorite. I feel like usually the ones I like more are the romances that I liked better. And then the ones I don't like as much, I'm like, kind of weak.
Let me say one more thing about the contrast between Trade Christmas and Nutcracker. Another problem with the Nutcracker is it doesn't really do Christmas. It's all about the Nutcracker production, which is Christmassy, and there is a scene where they go and buy a Christmas tree and stuff like that. But the Christmas spirit isn't there. It's not about Christmas in any sense. Nutcracker Christmas is not about Christmas. Trading Christmas, Widowed Mom really likes Christmas, and she likes the Christmas spirit, and there's the town that likes Christmas too much, and it's more than just trappings. It's about the spirit and about what Christmas has meant to these characters in the past. That plays into the backstory, that plays into where the characters are today, and it's an actual substantive part of the movie, and that makes a huge difference, I think.
Matt, I'm gonna have to throw you under the bus to come up with the thesis for this one.
Glad you did. I spent the last 15 seconds hurriedly trying to put one together. Thesis: Hallmark Christmas movies have persisted because they tap into something very simple, but very much just at the core of what a lot of people feel about the season. And it's a simple enough formula that it's not hard to do it effectively.
I'm satisfied. Works for me.
Are you satisfied?
Sounds good.
That fit your...
I think that sums it up.
Okay.
All right. Well, shallst we?
We shallst.
Hey guys, Preston here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked what you saw here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we upload these every Thursday. If you want to hear more, we have an unabridged version on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and any other podcast app. Check us out on Instagram at JusticeLosersPod. See you next week.